Namaste, friends. Welcome to Lecture 11 on the series of heritage sites from India which have been inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List. Today we talk about the hill forts of Rajasthan spread in 6 serial sites which were designated as UNESCO's World Heritage Site in the year 2013, and these includes 6 massive, magnificent forts. These are the fort of Chittorgarh, Kumbalgarh, Savai Madhodpur, Jhalawar, Amer or the Amber Fort, and the Jaisalmer forts. Each of these majestic forts are not just sagas in stone, but they are also reflective of the valor and the unconquerable spirit of the Rajputs. Most of these forts have almost 6 to 7 gates, or what are also referred to as the poles, and they are named after gods like Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Ganesh. And these forts were so built that the natural landscape around them, such as maybe desert or maybe dense forests or rivers, they actually offered a protection from invasions or from invaders. And what is also very interesting is that despite the climatic limitations, most of them feature extensive water harvesting structures, quite a few of which are of utility even today. Now, let me quickly walk you through each of these 6 now, and the first being the Chittorgarh Fort. Did you know that the place where Chittorgarh Fort is located was in ancient India referred to as Chitrakoot? A huge water reservoir is situated next to Chittorgarh Fort and is said to have been created by Bhim. Remember the legendary hero of Mahabharat? And how did he create it? He created it by striking the ground with all his might, and that is why it is referred to as the Bhim Lat Kund. Chittorgarh Fort houses not one but 4 palaces in addition to 2 prominent towers, namely the Vijay Stambh. Vijay means victory, Stambh meaning tower, so the Tower of Victory, and Kirti Stambh, the Tower of Fame. Though Vijay Stambh is primarily devoted and dedicated to Lord Vishnu, but the presence of the idol of Jain goddess Padmavati on the topmost floor and the carving of the word Allah in Arabic on the third and the eighth floors speaks remarkably about the religious pluralism and the tolerance which has been practiced and enveloped by the Rajputs. The Kirti Stambh was erected by Bhagarwal Jain in the 12th century to honor Adinath. Adinath was the first Jain Tirathankar. Therefore, this fort, and for similar reasons, many of the other of the 6 forts too, are highly revered by the Jains. The second citadel, most important after Chittorgarh, is Kumbalgarh in the Mewar region. Cradled in Aravalli ranges, it was built in the 15th century AD by Rana Kumbha, being the birthplace of Mewar's legendary king Maharana Pratap. The Fort Kumbalgarh carries immense sentimental significance and value for the people. In this fort too, there are several elaborately carved temples, such as the Nilkant Mahadev temple, which, as it says, is in reverence for Lord Shiva, the Paraswanath Jain temple, the Ganesh temple, the Bhavan Devi temple, where the word Bhavan, literally the numeric word in Hindi, 52. So there are 52 shrines located in the same complex, and that is from where it derives its name. A must mention are the Blue Darbar Hall and the Badal Mahal. Also, did you know that the Kumbalgarh Fort wall is the second longest wall in the world? Of course, the first is the Great Wall of China. The third fort is Savai Madhodpur Fort, which is located in the Ranthambore National Park, and that is why this is also popularly known as the Ranthambore Fort. In addition to the temples, once again devoted to Lord Ram, Shiva, and Ganesh, this fort too has a Jain temple which is devoted to the fifth Jain pilgrim Lord Sambhavnath. The fourth is the Jaisalmer Fort, which is locally called the Garh Palace, and it was built by Maharaj Rana Madan Singh and his successors in 1840-45. It is primarily famous for the beautiful paintings that adorn its walls and the magnificent Janana khas. You know why? Because in this Janana khas there is this extravagant mirror decorated walls and elaborate paintings reflecting the Hadoti school of art, which epitomizes the best of Rajput style paintings. It is the only fort, Jaisalmer Fort is the only fort in northern India that's enveloped in water, and hence it is called the Jala Durga, the Jal Durga. This not just has Shiv and Ganesh temples nestled within it, but also the Durga temple, and so therefore the Jal Durga, and a stunning tomb of Sufi saint Mitesh Shah, which makes this a venue for the annual festivities which take place during the month of Muharram. So though on the one hand this beautiful enmeshing of the Hindu and the Muslim value systems interests me and involves me, but what is a little disturbing for me is that in addition to having witnessed a total of 14 wars, this particular fort has also witnessed two Johars, and which I found very disturbing while doing my research, so I wanted to share my feelings with the audience. The fifth and the second last fort is the Amber Fort, popularly known as the Amer Fort, which dates back to 16th century and is named after goddess Amba, the goddess of earth and the goddess of fertility. This was originally created by Rajput Raja Man Singh I, and as we approach the palace, interestingly, if you would have ever observed, we can view a scenic reflection in the calm waters of Lake Mahota. The Amer Fort is the third largest wall in the world. The second was Kumbalgarh, and nestles the Diwani Am, the Sheesh Mahal, the Sukh Mahal, in addition to, of course, the Shila Devi temple, the Ganesh Pol. And this Ganesh Pol or the Ganesh Dwar is the gate which leads to the private palaces of the king. And the last is the Jaisalmer Fort, locally known as the Sonar Killa. You know why? And well, this is before I tell you that this is the largest forts in the world and was built in 1156 AD by Bhati Rajput ruler Rao Jaisal. Now it earned the title Sone Ka Killa or the Golden Fort because it stands in the middle of this unending golden sands of Thar Desert. The most famous structures here are Maharaja's throne, the five-storied Tazia Tower, the Jain and Lakshmikant temples, and the Jawahar Palace, which is the residence of the royal family. I know I have taken a lot of your time, but this is the beauty of my country that six forts, each of which have an amazing history which needs to be told and which needs to be carried on further. So, see this time not as a time which I have dragged you into, but a time which I have made you experience your country. So, take care and Jai Hind, Namaste.